Hey y'all, Shark Trapper. This could be interesting. A T-Mobile personal CellSpot. Come on, let's dive in, see what we got here. So we know it's a peripheral device, right? So we should be getting some sort of peripheral board out of here. We got some screws. Screws that need a little convincing. All right, so that's just plastic trash. Some of you have asked me what I do with my plastic trash. I used to have a plastic recycler that would take my ABS. So I would actually separate the ABS from all the other plastic. He went out of business and I haven't been able to find another plastic recycler yet. So I'm gonna keep looking. Hopefully I'll be able to find somebody that's close enough and the prices are right so that, you know, I can get it recycled. Even if I'm just breaking even with it, it's worth it to get the plastic recycled. Okay, let's get back into this. Now, we know that these little tips right there, hopefully you can see that against my black thumb. I'm going to bring that up to you. So the ends of those Wi-Fi wires are usually gold plated, so that's worth throwing in your gold plated bits if you're going after gold. And my friends the Moresco sent me some more gloves. Yes, man, it's awesome to have friends and viewers like that. There, we got some wire. We get these little gold bits out of the way before I misplace them. And there's a little bit more wire hanging on here. So these are actually the antennas here. In this case, it's just going to be a low-grade board with some wire on it. It's glued on. I don't think it's going to come off real easy. Let's see. Kinda. So you can see that's just a low-grade board. Sometimes that'll be a piece of metal. Depends on the manufacturer. Yeah. All right, nothing to get excited there, just plastic now. So here's our board. Let's get these heat sinks off, and those are tiny little Phillips heads on this one. This is a Phillips 1. And you can get these on my Amazon store. The link is down in the description below. But real nice. I've really been enjoying these. Yeah, right now, let's see what's going on here. So that metal shielding was covering that, and that needs to come off before we put that in with the aluminum. Interesting the way they did that. So the aluminum heatsink was cut so that each one of these nubs was resting on either a BG, was resting on these BGAs. So something like, I think it was like that. So it was like that so that these, or was it like that? Yeah, it was like that. So it's sitting down there on like that. So this one was on these. These two were covering these guys. These two were covered by these. So that is the way that the heat transferred to the heat sink. And that's just aluminum heat sink. But then they shielded it with the shield, so get rid of that. We have another heat sink here. Let's see, what's your situation? Oh, tiny, tiny little Torx. This is going to be interesting. All right, tiny little Torx heads. This kit, I know it's kind of looking kind of nasty, but it came with a variety of Torx, security Torx screws. The ones that I use the most are always over on my workbench, but these are the odd sizes that I don't need a lot, but every now and then they're good to have. And with this really tiny little Torx, I'm going to do this by hand because it's real easy for the driver to strip these out. Even by hand, it's easy to strip these out because they're just so tiny. Yeah, those things are really not cooperating, so we're going to resort to plan B. Yeah, plan B usually involves some sort of brute force. So here again, we've got the shielding that was going over those, so let's get that shielding off of there. I find the edge cutters let me get a little better grip on these little things like this to peel them off. You just got to be careful that you don't squeeze so hard that you snip them. So there's another little bit of metal ferros. And then here we have more of this heat sink. Get the paste off of this. And this is just aluminum heat sink here now. Now, I'm going to put this in with my sheet aluminum because this is not extruded the way most heat sinks are. So this is just going to go in with my sheet aluminum. All right, we have no cover, no screws holding this down, so this is just glued on or something. Let's see. Well, that's weird. What in the world? I guess that was just cooling the other side of all this stuff too. Huh, very weird. All right, so what we have, we already said it's going to be a peripheral board. It came from a peripheral device, so that helped us to determine. But also when we look at it, it is for the most part green on both sides. And we have visible gold. So nice components throughout here, BGAs and such. So this is, man, it's not as densely populated as I would like, so it's kind of a borderline peripheral low, peripheral high. It's right on that edge. I think though, because these BJs are pretty big over here, I'm going to take off the rest of these shields just to make it look a little nicer, a little less metal of the ferrous type. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw this in with my peripheral high grades. Depending upon your yard, maybe mid-grade. If your yard isn't really sophisticated, doesn't have a lot of categories, this would probably go in with the mid-grades. Definitely a peripheral for board sort, and it's borderline between peripheral high and peripheral low. But I'm going to throw it in with my peripheral highs. Might be a little bit of a stretch. It's always a little bit difficult differentiating between peripheral low and peripheral high, because basically what you're saying is, in the peripheral high grade boards, is there a dense enough population of potentially gold bearing circuits like BGAs and things like that, components like BGAs and such, to make it a higher grade peripheral board? And sometimes it's a judgment call. Sometimes it's just really obvious. That was a little bit on the edge, so we'll see. you know, what's the worst that happened when they dump it out at board sort? They say, no, that's actually peripheral low, and downgrade it. You know, they understand. You do the best you can, and then they, you know, they're good about that kind of stuff, so don't fret. Okay, well, if you want to learn more about peripheral boards in particular, there is a link going to pop up over here that will take you to a video that I did on identifying peripheral boards. The other link is YouTube's link taking you to where they think you want to go next. And the round one in the middle is where you can subscribe so you don't miss a single episode of this great e-waste scrapping content. All right, everybody, we'll see you later on.